Well, it's the off season, and actually it's just after midnight. It is 12:03 Eastern. Happy New Year. Filming this Friday night. Gonna put it out on Saturday though, so stick around. Did the post game show last night. I'm sure you guys saw it, and this is our Overreaction Saturday. We'll start off with this question because this is going to be the question that we are going to talk about. You're going to talk about it amongst your friends. You're going to talk about it with me on the internet. I'm going to talk about it with you here on the show, on Twitter, etc. Who's going to be the starting quarterback? Not who's going to be. Who do you think will be, all right? Who do you think is going to be starting quarterback? Let's just say the first game of the 2022 season, September 3rd against Colorado State. CM for Cade McNamara or JM for the super freshman, going to be a sophomore, J. McCarthy. Let me know, CM or JM. It is, folks, my Overreaction Saturday. I can say that now because we're filming this after midnight. Happy New Year. I just did it's the dedication I have to this show, to this channel, to this program, is I am here. I could have just, came in a couple days from the show, but here after midnight on a Saturday, on Friday night into Saturday, as is Happy New Year. And I hope that the 2022 is as good for you as it was for the Michigan football program in 2021, and hopefully you had a good 2021 as well. But don't be mad, folks. Appreciate the season that Michigan gave us this year, because you and I and most other people, I think you did, I did, left this program for dead, left Jim Harbaugh for dead, left the quarterback situation for dead. It was the season was over, right? This program was over. Jim Harbaugh's career was over, at least as Michigan was concerned. Just 10, 11 months ago, hell, even 4 or 5 months ago, no one thought that this team could do it or should do it. So don't be mad that they lost so bad to Georgia, 34-11. Appreciate it. Appreciate this season. And I'm just going to say, look, 2021 all in. I thank Jim Harbaugh for what he did for Michigan football to get him back after they'd hit the worst downturn that we would have expected under a coach of his caliber. Next up, I hope this loss serves as motivation for these players, all right? It was very clear that in this offseason that Hassan Haskins and Cade McNamara and Aiden Hutchinson, they took the 2-4 season last year to heart. They felt bad. They felt embarrassed. Josh Ross felt embarrassed. His brother played at Michigan. Aiden Hutchinson's dad played at Michigan. Those players felt embarrassed that they were part of a 2-4 season, and they came back when, conventional wisdom would have said, hey, Aiden Hutchinson, go pro. Josh Ross, maybe go pro or transfer. Hassan Haskins, transfer somewhere else. Try your luck at the NFL, because Michigan isn't doing it right now. But they put their heads down. Cade McNamara came back. Even though he wasn't the starting quarterback last year, they chose Joe Milton over him. It was clear he was a better quarterback. He came back, and now all those guys can say, look, we were the ones that broke the streak. 17 years of losing to Ohio State and not winning Big Ten titles. And I think just in general, I hope those guys that are returning for next year, most of the guys I mentioned will not. Cade McNamara, I certainly believe, will. All those guys need to use this motivation to say, we're good enough to beat Ohio State this year. We need to beat them again next year. We need to win another Big Ten title. And that's what it takes to beat Georgia. That's what it takes to even be in the same conversation as Alabama. Michigan is embarking on a new season, right? This is the first time since 2005 that Michigan will be the defending Big Ten champions here in the 2022 season. They've got 12 games in the schedule. It is a very easy schedule as far as I am concerned. Go take a look at it. I said in the show a week ago or so that I believe that Indiana and Michigan State games will be flip-flopped, so Michigan won't be on the road again to Michigan State 2 years in a row. So I think Michigan's going to go 11-0 into Columbus. So I'm just going to put my prediction of that. 11-0 into Columbus. This team will be ranked in the top 5 in the college football preseason polls. I am almost certain of it. And they'll start the season undefeated, going 11-0 into Columbus. And let's just see if they can get the win. I'm not going to make the full season prediction right now, but Bosa Chugs with me. Jeremy, Vegas Jeremy is with me here in the studio after midnight on a Friday night. The Big Ten just can't compete with the SEC. I don't tell you. Purdue beat Tennessee, right? Some other, SEC, Big Ten in the lower rankings, but the top level, maybe it's a Nick Saban problem. We're just talking about this before film. Alabama has now been in the college football national championship game 6 of the last 7 years. Think about that in the NFL. Think about that. We were sick. Oh, the Warriors and Cavs, 4 straight years. We were sick of that. The Warriors, I think, was it 5 straight years in the finals? I want somebody else. 6 of 7 years in college football. That is unprecedented in the sport. It's unprecedented in sports in general in the last 50 years. It's mind-boggling to think about that this season for Michigan was so successful and so exciting for you, for me, for all the Michigan fans. And Alabama has had a better season, 6 of the last 7, and the SEC had 4 of the last 7 champions. Now they'll have 5 of the last 8 in the college football playoff era. It's Georgia versus Alabama. 5 of the last 8. Who were the 3? Ohio State in the first one, and then Clemson in 2016, and then again in 2018. But that is what it is, folks. I don't know what to tell you. I think the Big Ten has got to do a lot better if they're going to get on the same level as the SEC, Georgia, and Alabama. But subscribe to the channel, folks. If you love the Wolverines, we're trying to be your off-season headquarters. We are going to have more content, more YouTube videos than any other channel. How about this? Not even any other channel, than all channels combined, right? We've already got a bigger audience than all channels combined. Isaiah Hull, Sam Webb, Brandon Brown, all these guys, Maize and Blue review the Wolverine. They're trying to compete with it. If you like their content, that's cool. But combined, they are doing less audience than we are on this channel, and we have the most subscribers. We're trying to get to 18,000. I'm sorry, 19,000. We came into today 18,744. Help us get there. Recommend us to a friend. We certainly appreciate it. By the way, went to the Alabama-Cincinnati game, Chugs. Jeremy got stopped by 3 Michigan fans at that game, 2 of which were wearing Cincinnati gear, which I thought was kind of funny. One guy had a Michigan iPhone case. I'm like, Cincinnati fans, I'm a Michigan fan. Love your show. Watch your show. One of the people said they were Ohio State fans, so they were wearing Cincinnati gear. People stopped me at AT&T Stadium, so they're big fans of the show. So if you were one of those, thanks so much for giving me a shout out at the game. Alabama-Cincinnati today. If not, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do it right now. Let's talk about number 4. Stetson Bennett. Really? I mean, they made him look like Johnny Manziel. Jim Harbaugh beat Drew Brees, and he beat Aaron Rodgers. And he certainly beat Cam Newton, and he beat Matt Ryan in the NFL playoffs. Jim Harbaugh has 5 playoff wins. He's got no college football wins, right? Playoff wins, that is. But he made this guy, Stetson Bennett, look like a star for most of the first half. It really didn't matter what Bennett did in the second half. Michigan wasn't in the game at all. And after that Cade McNamara interception early on in the second half, the game was pretty much over at that point. But 21 of 31, 307 yards, 3 touchdowns for Stetson Bennett. The walk-on, the guy who was the scout team quarterback 4 years ago, and the guy who held off 5-star JT Daniels, who, if you remember 2 years ago, was it 2 years? Yeah, 2 seasons ago, before 2020, Michigan fans were like, oh, we don't need JT Daniels. Well, I guess Georgia didn't need him either because he is their backup quarterback, and if you make it to the national title game with Stetson Bennett, I think Bennett is going to be your starter for Georgia next year. I think Jim Harbaugh and his staff, Mike McDowell, need to look in the mirror and say, how the heck do we let this walk-on kid, 5'10", quarterback who runs around, beat this program with NFL stars, future NFL stars all over it? Daxon, David Ojabo, Aiden Hutchinson, Josh Ross, etc. It's crazy to think about. But I guess we're off to the offseason. And now that we're in the offseason, if you haven't subscribed yet, folks, or haven't followed me yet, my Twitter handle, James Yoder, at James Yoder, my first name, my last name. I think the offseason is where I shine sometimes because I make friends with 2 or 3 people in and around the program, parents, a player or 2, folks on the staff, and we try and bring you as much Michigan football news, rumors, transfer portal stuff, spring practice as we can. So subscribe. I put most of the stuff on Twitter in real time as much as I can, and then we do full shows here in the offseason 3, 4, 5 days per week. But that's one. Let's talk about the offseason here, right? You got 8 months. 8 months and 3 days till Michigan kicks off against, I think, was it Colorado State? Yep. And what are we going to talk about till then? We're going to talk about spring practice. We're going to talk about the recruiting in February. We're going to talk about the depth charts, beat Ohio State again. We're going to talk about this schedule. But when it all comes down to it, the only thing that's going to matter and the only thing that you are going to care about when Michigan kicks off at the end of the season is who is the starting quarterback. Is Cade McNamara, can he rest on the laurels of beating Ohio State, Iowa, going 12-2, 12-1 to start the season, or is J.J. McCarthy going to beat him out this offseason? I think it's really interesting. I'm excited to see it. I hope both players stick with the program through next season at least and put everything they have forward with this program and make sure that they gave it their all to see if they can lead Michigan back to a Big Ten championship and another college football playoff next season. But let me know. I asked you a question in the beginning of the show. Now this is a little different one. Not who will start, who should start. So earlier I think what we say JMCM, something like that. So here's the should. C1, right? Make it easier to look in the comments, see who was answering which question. C1 for Cade McNamara, if he should start, be your QB1. Cade 1, C1, or if you think James McCarthy should start to begin the year in 2022, go ahead and type J1 down below, folks. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. We put our last show out just before midnight last night, so this will serve as our first show of 2022. Thank you, Chugs, for everybody. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks to Jim Harbaugh, Cade McNamara, Mike McDonald. Thanks to Josh Gass. I was critical of him all year. Hassan Haskins, who's literally my hero at this point. I'm considering naming a future child of mine Hassan. I absolutely think he has been one of the best guys this program's had. Him and Aiden Hutchinson. I'm not sure if you've had a better offensive and defensive leader in this program in 2+ decades. So subscribe. We're with you all off season long. And until I see you next time, folks, go Blue.